I've been asked to tell something about the outreach ministry of the Allen Temple Baptist Church and to share about Allen Temple's interest in social justice as well as Allen Temple's past history in working in the community with social change groups such as the Black Panther Party. Might I say to you that some people think that the church is a place where people only meet on Sunday to meet, eat, and greet, and then go home and sit in the rocking chair of lazy religion and say, "Oh, what good people we are." Quite to the contrary, the church is concerned about offering, especially in this community of death, a culture of life. For example, if one would travel up and down the International Boulevard and see deviant behavior taking place, drug sales in broad daylight, or people standing on the street corner drinking wine out of a paper bag, or young men and women without a purpose for living other than to stand on the street corner and just pass the time away, or to hear the sirens crying because police are headed to a spot where someone has been killed, or to see young people engaged in theft and robbery instead of being in school. These are all expressions of the culture of death, and the churches are here to offer a culture of life, here to offer an alternate lifestyle. And some people think that the church is just concerned about the sweet by and by, going to heaven when we die. But the Allen Temple Church has never professed to know anything about the furniture of heaven or the temperature of hell. Outreach programs here at Allen Temple are designed to bring life, health, and wholeness to all people in the community, beginning from the womb to the tomb. We have programs of health, and health is a broad field. We're concerned about mental health. We're concerned about emotional health. We're concerned about moral health. And since we are more than animals, for animals just exist, but we are more than animals, and therefore there has to be a spiritual component that deals with value, that deals with worth, that deals with purpose, that endeavors to answer, why am I here? What is my purpose on life? Because I'm here to do more than to get up every day and go through a repetitious routine of eating and drinking, and then going home in the evening, looking at television, at something that doesn't make sense, that's called entertainment, and then going to bed and get up the next day to repeat that. No, this is why our programs where they who work with people are more than social workers. We're trying to endeavor to help people to be healthy mentally, morally, physically, and spiritually. Jesus said to a sick man one day, "Do you want to get well?" The King James Version of the Bible translates it, "Do you want to be made whole?" And so our message of salvation is a holistic salvation, to help people be healthy and whole mentally, morally, emotionally, spiritually, and socially. Socially means how people relate to each other in community, how people relate to each other on their jobs, how people relate to each other in the neighborhood, how people relate to each other who, when they're strangers, whether they treat people with dignity and respect, and because they treat people with dignity and respect, people in turn treat them the same way, and therefore the community has harmony. And all of this, in terms of harmonious living, helps to bring about a culture of life to replace a culture of death. That's why we have the Family Life Center. If there are spots in East Oakland where people are in a red zone of violence and where they kill each other, the Family Life Center then becomes an alternative place where there is an option for life rather than an option for death. The option for life here at Allen Temple provides job training. It not only provides job training, it helps people who have anger management problems. It helps people who need a GED. It helps people whose lives have been wrecked, but it says to them they're not ruined. Come and we will help you make a new start in life. Come to our Family Life Center where there are programs to help you get started. The church just didn't start doing these things this year or last year or the year before. Many years ago, the Allen Temple Baptist Church, when I was pastor, developed a close relationship with the Black Panther Party, and many of those Black Panthers are now members of this church, and they have held leadership positions in the church. One of the first things that we did was to work with the Black Panther Party in getting people in East Oakland to register and vote, and so that they could assume responsibility for carving out the future of their own lives, the lives of their children, and the lives of the unborn. And as a result of this partnership with Black Panthers, we were able to get our first African American mayor elected, Mayor Lydell Wilson. And we're so blessed to have our own Larry Reed as the city council person for District 7. When we become involved in politics, we are saying that we want to help shape the government the government that will seek the best interests of all of the people in East Oakland. That's why Allen Temple has a Hispanic ministry. That's why Allen Temple has a Hispanic pastor. That's why the Hispanic congregation and the African American congregation work together on projects, and we even worship together. So I'm so proud of the fact that the Allen Temple Church is multiracial and multicultural according to the ratio of the other races that live in this community, which means that we do have Anglo members, we do have white members, but not as many as other churches where the white presence is very noticeable in the community. But on the racial basis, we have white members, we have African American members, we have Asian members, and we have Hispanic, Spanish-speaking members. We have Africans who have moved here from various parts of the motherland. And our outreach is not only for this community, but we have a global presence around the world. And I'm so happy to be a part of such a church. And we realize that we cannot transform East Oakland by ourselves. So therefore we have healthy partnerships with other agencies in this community where we work as a team to address those issues that will eradicate the culture of death and bring the culture of life, and will enable East Oakland to be a healthy community.